Hello, and I'm Sean, and welcome to Comic Reviews and Acts, and I'll be reviewing Iron Man issue number 7. This is part 2 of 3 of the God Killer franchise, and we'll start off with the cover. I mean, it's still Land is still the artist for this one, and the artwork's getting better, but it's still not all the way there yet because it's still separate. One person's penciling and the other one's inking, so it's still not 100%, but it is getting better as the comics go on. I mean, let's start off with this. Clearly shows that the story arc at the moment is Tony's in prison, he's trapped. But anyway, let's get on into the comic. As you see, it's part 2 of 3 of the God Killer storyline, and the comic starts off with Tony in prison. And it's Tony reminiscing to himself, trying to keep himself calm. But then, who enters but the drinks machine from a few issues back, and Tony saying, definitely love a birthday drink. And it turns out this wee little bit of tray is a robot. That's some Transformers stuff going on there. But yeah, it goes into a robot, and it's this Tron guy robot thing with red eyes. That's the only way I can explain it. It's just the Tron guy in robot form. I'm expecting Jeff Bridges to walk in a minute. So yeah, it goes on, and it explains who he is. This robot is called 451, and it's a series of robots who were sent out across the galaxy and universe to record data. Then they come back, feed the data back, they get wiped, and then they get sent off out again to record more data. But 451 never got wiped, so he's carried on building up data, building up, and becoming basically a librarian, like the ultimate librarian. That's basically what he's become now. And he tells Tony that he can help him. He can help him escape. And Tony's like saying, "How can you escape?" And he goes, "Well, after viewing everything," and just waffles on. And Tony just goes, "You lawyer." So the guy helps him and tells him what to carry on. Anyway, skips straight to Tony's trial. And this is just kind of reviewing back to what's happened in previous issues. You've killed the Void Falcon, i.e. the Phoenix. Tony's on trial. It's got a little screenshot there of Tony's robot, of what he used in the AVX to destroy the Phoenix. You have Hope there with the Scarlet Witch also teaming up to destroy the Phoenix. How Tony has a help from a couple of friends. However, he never mentions it was Captain America's idea to destroy the Phoenix. Tony may have done it, but it wasn't his idea. It was Captain's. If you don't believe me, go back and read them. Yeah, anyway. Tony then shouts he demands his right to Shaitar Run, which is a gladiatorial event. And then it goes in, and then it goes back then to the cell of... Well, not yet, actually. It carries on with the Shaitar Run, and Tony's a bit worried. So now it goes back to the cell, and the 451 explains how they have a tradition where if you claim Shaitar Run, you have your right to fight for your freedom. So Tony says fine. So anyway, it goes back to the gladiator event, and Tony finds out that these people actually suck at fighting. They suck balls. Look at that. He runs at him. The green guy runs at Tony and gets taken down for running at him. So Tony's taking victory. Literally one-shotting everything. And then he gets all dead cocky and everything. And then to finish it up, it shows 451 is sneaking into this... What would you call it? Trophy room, I suppose. It's got helmets on the wall. 451 kills this guard. Goes into this room where it's got this heart of the Voldy. And I can assume that's something linked with the Phoenix because they called it the Voldy before, the Grand Voldy. So I can only assume this is something linked to the Phoenix that 451 wants. And it just ends with him saying, "You have to act." So he's clearly had enough of watching and he now just wants to do. Anyway, so it goes back to Tony in the arena. And you see this great shadow of Tony going, "Oh, come on, fight, really?" and then it shows this big 30-foot robot. That's a bounty hunter called Death's Head. Doesn't look too well for Tony there. Really doesn't. And that's where the comic ends. I mean, it shows this next issue shot here, and that looks pretty damn awesome. But yeah, this comic, the artwork's been getting better over the previous issues. Still not quite there yet. I do think they need to skip down just to one artist do both the penciling and the inking. I think that would improve things massively. But at the moment, we're stuck with two. But it has been improving, so got to give them points for that. The story arc in this one again told us a bit more detail. It was a bit faster paced than the previous issues. I am starting to enjoy them a bit more. I mean, I've always been an Iron Man fan. I've just not hugely enjoyed the comics up until this point. So yeah, I'd give this current issue 7.5 out of 10. There was definitely areas that could be improved. I'd like to see more of the fighting and how Tony dealt with it. And I'd like to see who 451 is a bit more, but I suppose that'll come later. But I give this current issue a 7.5 out of 10. I enjoyed it. However, I don't think it's got the reread factor. So that's the reason why. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys next time.